Which episode are we?
And we're live. Episode 19?
19, I think.
Let's
I
go.
think. I think.
I think we lost count. We've
We
been doing a lot of this. But
It has
today
been a lot of
we
days.
are joined by a very, very special guest. I count
Very
him special because he is my little brother's best friend. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do.
Hello. How's everyone? I hope everyone's having a wonderful time with the whole Corona shit. So
God.
Wonderful time.
good luck to everyone in lockdown right now. My name is Karam Marji. I'm a Jordanian, and I'm here talking about stuff.
Welcome to the podcast. So how do you know us? What do you do? Are you in uni? Are you still in school?
Yeah. So I'm in. So in Jordan, there's this university called JJU, German Jordanian University, and I actually know Ali Shammari through Joseph, his little brother. What's up, Joseph? If you're gonna watch this,
He's gonna hate this so much. Me and you both know that's the problem. He's
Nice.
gonna hate this so much. Anyways, keep going.
That's
Sorry
the
for
only
Wait, does he
reason
know?
I
Wait,
want-
does he know
that's the
about
only
this?
reason I wanted to be
Do you
on
know
the
that
podcast.
you guys banned up about this, or is he gonna be surprised?
I mean, I told him. I
Okay.
was like, I kind of told him, but he was
Okay.
like, he just gave me this look. He was like, okay, Ali.
But Joseph's special.
I see.
Oh, okay,
All right.
fine, fair enough. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
so that's how me and Karam know each
Mhm.
other, and you're welcome to the show. So you
Thank
want to go ahead and let everyone know what the topic is?
Yeah. So we agreed we're gonna talk about refugees because Jordan has a lot of we hold the most amount of refugees in the Middle East right now
Mhm.
since every country around us.
Yeah.
Is pretty much getting,
Wait, does Jordan
right.
have the
Over.
most refugees out of any country? Is that
No, I think it's just the Middle East. But if we're talking
It's
about
in the
terms
Middle
of the
East.
world,
Yeah,
it's
it's like
Germany.
it's a like amazingly disappropriate number in the Middle East.
Mhm.
Like Jordan's a very small country,
yeah?
not as small as Kuwait, but it's a small country.
Mhm.
It is.
And like the north of Jordan, where like Irbid is like
That's
filled
my
to the
area.
brim. Yeah, it's filled to the
With
brim
refugees.
with refugees.
From
And I think the
Palestine?
reason being is no, it's I think it's Syrian mostly.
It's they're mostly Syrian, and previously it was Palestinian.
Palestinians.
And that's mainly because my area, Irbid, it's like 15 minutes away from the nearest Syrian city. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to just give me a second.
Mhm.
Take your time.
Yeah. So yeah, dude. Jordan. What else is going on, Jordan? You're there.
I mean,
yeah. Mhm.
carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. So you're in Jordan right now.
Yeah, I'm in Jordan
Alright.
right now. I'm in Amman, which is the
Amman.
capital city.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What's going on? How's it like in Amman right now?
I mean, it's the usual. We got locked down.
That's
Today's
not
actually,
usual. What do you mean the usual? That's not usual. Yeah.
I mean, with the whole Corona thing, it's the
Yeah.
Sorry, I
usual.
had my dad come in. So I was saying, so yeah,
Mhm.
the nearest city from my apartment personally in Jordan is 15 minutes away. The nearest, like, the distance from my apartment to the border of, between the
Probably like 10
Palestine
minutes.
and, no, it's actually like 20, 25
But to Palestine.
to the border.
Yeah, to Palestine. Yeah, it's around like
To the-
20,
to the
25 minutes.
border. Yeah, it is. So that's like, and Irbid is the second largest city in Jordan. Am I right?
Mm.
After Amman.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Amman and then
So-
Irbid and then Zara.
Yep, Zarga, which is like right outside Amman. to the
Right.
north.
It's like here's Irbid, here's Zara.
Yep, and then like that's Amman right down there.
Yeah, Amman's
But
like
yeah,
all the way down.
so yeah, it is. And it's a beautiful drive, if I may add. All my friends who might be watching this from university, they know it's a beautiful, beautiful ride through the mountains, getting all the way to Amman. But yeah, so tell us your experience about the whole refugee scenario that's going on in Jordan.
I mean, look, it all started when I was around 12 years old. I'm 19 right now. So when I was around 12 years old, my uncle, he was working with this charity, and he took me with him for some work. and they were redesigning this rundown school, and we had to go buy the paint and some construction and some materials to fix the school. And I mean, most of us, we live in a bubble of extreme privilege. Like we might not see it right now, but like we live in this insane bubble of privilege.
I agree with you.
We have everything. I mean, like, simply enough, me being able to talk with you guys like so far away is a privilege in itself. When I went over there, having little kids, like I was 12, and there were kids that are slightly or older than me that were calling me sir, because they have a different view of people that aren't in their zone. It's crazy, really. Like, it really humbled me, because I mean, the phone that I have is like a miracle to them. They, like, the old Nokia phones, Abu Lux.
Yeah.
That's the phones that
And-
they wish they have.
Sorry, them are you talking about Palestinian refugees?
I'm talking about like like Palestinian and Syrian. There were a couple of Syrians, Watiha, back then. Sorry. But yeah, it was. They were mostly kids, because we were doing the school, and the school was like completely run down, and the classrooms, like, there were around 100 to 200 kids for 4 classrooms. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
That's 50 students in a class.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's only, I think it was one teacher that had to teach everything.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we had to like fix it up and everything. And I think that was the changing point in my life, where I realized I want to do things to help those who need help. Because I have the capabilities. I have money. I have a chance to be successful. And it's unfortunate. It's really annoying for me to say that they don't, because of the scenario that they were put in, because of politics and
So what are you doing, Karam? Yeah, what are you doing, Karam, to help out?
So to help out, or what am I doing as a major?
I mean, both.
Whatever you want to talk about. I mean, both is good if you want to.
So let's start with helping out. I try to do as many charities as I can do. Last summer, I was working with the EU, the Cultural Center in EU, and it had a lot to do. It wasn't really like directly to do with charity work and everything, but it was a lot to inform people about this. And it was this film festival. And at the end of the film festival, everyone had to we had to source out people that that made movies or films about those Syrian refugees to raise awareness. And raising awareness, raising awareness is, people really like say, it's nothing, who cares? But it actually, it's surprising how much.
I think it's important to raise awareness, but also I feel like in our generation, raising awareness means like tweeting about it or posting like an Instagram story about it.
More social media awareness and less
than actually doing something concrete. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to ask. Like, what are the ways you can like actually go and help out other than like tweeting or like maybe donating?
So, there's a great charity. Oh, sorry. There's a great charity called Amnesty. I'm pretty sure everyone knows Amnesty International. Amnesty International.
What are they? No, I don't know them. So what are they?
So Amnesty International is a private charity that helps refugees all the way through Africa and the Middle East. It's really prevalent in Yemen, because we all know what's happening in Yemen, and Oman as well.
What's that? Wait, you're saying that everyone knows them, but you gotta remember that a lot of people are ignorant, right?
Right. Yeah.
So what's going on? So
there's currently. Let me just.
Sure. I know it's a lot. Points, but it's
So Yemen right now is in the middle of a crisis. It's a humanitarian crisis. There's a civil war happening there. I'm not going to get too much into politics, for safety reasons, legal reasons, let's say.
Cool. That's respectable, and we thank you for that.
Respectable, yes, thank you.
But yeah, there's a humanitarian crisis over there, and it's like all over the news. if you check, I really like whoever's viewing this. I'd really urge you to keep up with the United Nations. Something, an unpopular opinion, maybe popular actually. The United Nations doesn't really do much, but one thing it really does really well is raise awareness. So if you keep up with the United Nations, you'd like find out about stuff, and it's a really good way to be an upstanding citizen and find out things that you can help in.
Like
raising
follow them?
awareness.
Yeah, you mean like just follow them, like
you
social
can follow
media?
them on Instagram, on their Twitter.
Mhm.
It's the United Nations.
Shout out
Who
that
doesn't know?
United Nations. Shout out.
Shout out
Let's
United
go.
Nations, yeah.
But yeah, Yemen is like in the middle of a humanitarian crisis. There's also Syria that's in the middle of a civil war with ISIS,
And Amnesty helps out. Yeah.
Amnesty helps out all throughout the Middle East as well as in Africa. For example, in Burundi, which is it's a country in Africa, in Central Africa, has the worst economy. Very, very like plenty of slave labor, plenty of corruption, and Amnesty tries and goes through as many loopholes as it can to help out people in the midst of like a tyrannical corruption rule. So yeah, Amnesty is a great way to help, and if you can donate,
donating is mostly it.
A dollar is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna leave a link to their website in the description. So
yes,
I think
shout out
we'll
Amnesty
do that.
also. Yes,
we will. We'll leave all the stuff you told us about. We'll leave it in the description.
Mhm.
But so do you have any like personal stories of the refugees to share on like how they got there or how they ended up where they are?
How they got there.
Mm-hmm. How they got there.
Well, I'm gonna ask for your permission first because obviously, I mean, it's simple enough to realize that it's all politics. So I'm just gonna ask.
Okay, you have full permission to go as deep as you want.
All right, I'm gonna ruin this podcast.
Oh no, go for it.
No, go for it. Go for it.
All right. So, since I'm gonna assume most of your viewers are Arabs, yeah.
I mean, it's an international base.
We do have a few international audience.
So you got to give it like an international context. Like people in the United States are a little more ignorant than.
Yeah,
so that, but like
Poland, Italy,
Middle East,
UK.
All right, so the problem in Syria right now, it all started because of the Assad regime, and people didn't really like the way that Assad was taking over power because there were meant to be voting procedures and parliamentary rules, and none of that really happened. He just took. He kept office more than he should, and people obviously were upset. They began rioting, and Syria started using martial law. Things led to things. There was a lot of, ISIS, if you go way, way back, was actually funded by the United States and Saudi Arabia. And
true. Very true.
It's very true.
And eventually, once they never needed them for the Iraqi war, there was just this massive militia of trained soldiers, like with plenty of arms, just left to do whatever the hell that they want.
Wait, Saudi Arabia or just United States? I'm sorry to cut you off, but Saudi Arabia as well?
Yeah, Saudi Arabia was also funding them.
I don't know about Saudi Arabia, but I'm 1,000,000% sure the United States, but Saudi Arabia, I'm not.
The United States
sure.
is like
100%.
Go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
100%. But yeah, keep going.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm sorry for any Saudis. Well, I love you.
No, we're not trying to offend anybody. We're just trying to,
we're not trying to offend anybody. Yeah,
trying to speak up.
Yeah. So and then ISIS was just like left, like this massive mob of trained militias left, and guess where they were left? Syria. So obviously, when there was a vacuum of power in Syria, ISIS immediately went in and funded by the United States. Let's keep it at that.
So
they went through.
yeah, what do you mean it's
And
funded by the United States? Sorry to break it down, but it's just like
so funded.
so
Because
Okay,
they
yeah,
so
I got lost a little.
yeah.
no
So
worries, no worries.
why are
So
they? Why
back
would they
then,
fund terrorists? That's what like someone
yeah,
like
back then
that.
it wasn't terrorist. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
exactly. That's the thing. Like if you go way back, Al Qaeda, Al Qaeda
Mhm.
was not a terrorist organization. It was it was a militia in Iraq, funded by the United States, which is
Mhm.
proven by now. There has been there was a leak on WikiLeaks.
Yeah,
It was leaked. The United States funded it as well as ISIS
they're
um, to displace the power in Iraq. And once that was done, there was obviously a terrorist organization, and history repeats itself. Same thing with ISIS. It was a militia to help stop Al Qaeda, and after some time, they never needed them, and they eventually went into Syria. And yeah, history tends to repeat itself. This has happened way before, and things that even the United States, even before the United States was founded, these
Yeah.
militias were always done and always became terrorist organizations and led to
We got
things.
into it in one of our episodes. I think it was last Sunday episode where we said that history a lot tends to repeat itself. And it's not even that historic. It's literally every 20, 30 years, every 10 years.
Exactly, yeah.
yes.
So
So
we
yeah.
got into it, yeah. But yeah, sorry for cutting you off. Keep
Yes.
going.
That's fine. That's fine.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's you know,
So Syria.
after that, like after
Yes,
that power vacuum in Syria, ISIS found that like that's a perfect, you know,
Power vacuum, more powerful. Let's go.
yeah, yeah, it's a
No?
perfect time for them to
let's
jump
go.
in Syria.
Yalla. Yeah, let's
Yeah, Ali, be more sensitive, Ali. It's a sensitive topic. God
yeah,
damn it.
but I mean, it's like it's. I mean, it's crazy. it is what
It
it
is.
is.
It
Right?
is.
Yeah, it is
It is
crazy that this
crazy.
whole thing
No, it
happened.
is
Yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
I
So
mean, like,
is
imagine this happens to something like Kuwait. You're both Kuwaiti, just that. Yeah, I know Ali
I'm
Shammari
Lebanese.
is.
Yeah, so I'm
You're
Lebanese. So I'm
Lebanese.
yeah, I'm
he's
closer
been
to
through this,
Syria.
so
Yes, I under.
Yeah, so yeah, you'd understand it way more.
Mhm.
Like, especially right now,
no.
with the revolts and everything.
In
I
Lebanon.
mean,
Lebanon.
quite understood it. In fact, we had a even worse scenario, I dare say, back in the 90s, with Saddam claiming that Kuwait don't like their ruler when that is completely not true, and then they decided to, come in to be the savior of the Kuwaiti people who despise the Al Sabah. May God protect them. So I know, I understand how it is, but the issue with that is Kuwait was just 2 years. This is ongoing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I understand, like, imagine if we're still under the Iraqi rule,
exactly. And like,
that
Yeah.
would suck.
That would
I
yeah,
don't
and
want to get
then
too much into politics, but like,
Yeah.
The moment like the United Kingdom and the United States went into Kuwait to liberate it,
freedom.
you can
It
still
didn't happen
see
for
that.
Syrians.
Well, Syria was literally a place for Russia and the United States to test out their military. I'm not joking. I mean, have you seen the amount of bombings from
You
Russia?
want to hear a funny story? You want to hear a really
Go
funny
ahead.
story?
Go
So
ahead.
I said 15 minutes away from my home was the nearest city, Syrian city,
Mhm.
Daraa, right?
Right.
In 2017, there was the bombing of Daraa. Ali, I'm on everything that I hold dear to my heart. It was the scariest experience I had, and I was a border away. I wasn't even in the same
Dude, imagine
country.
like a street across
But
from
do
you.
you not?
Yeah.
You do not understand what it feels like to be violently shaken in your bed, have your door slammed shut, have your window pane violently shake from a bomb that's in a city 15, 20 minutes away from you.
Mhm. Yeah.
I experienced it.
I
You
know
do
it's a
not
funny
know.
story. Yeah.
It's not. I'm just saying, like, funnily enough, I kind of had a pseudo experience, let's say.
That's
There
the
was
thing.
even
That's the
this.
thing. You were Ali. You were like 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
people in Syria
I'll tell you in
live this
Lebanon.
every
Well,
single day.
and a couple years ago, like 5 years ago in Lebanon, there were just ISIS, just people were bombing vans, right? There were vans driving around Lebanon, uh, led by ISIS, and they were just bombing, right? And close by our house, right, there was a couple blocks down. They're like throughout the country. And this was over a couple of like 3 months, right, span. And yeah, we just, well, at that point, you don't really know, like, should we stop? Should we keep going? So everyone just kept going. I was in high school at the time. So I just went to high school. And then sometimes you'd go home and, like, remember one time I was at school and my friends came to me. They were like, Ali, you should, is everything okay? You're home? And I was like, yeah, what's up? I didn't even have a phone at the time. I was a kid. And then I was like, how do so I borrowed my friend's phone. I reached out to like my family to make sure like everything was okay. But there was a bomb that happened like 2 blocks down. And we had to like take the bus back down home. And there was a lot of traffic. And yeah, dude, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like things like this do happen. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So the second story I wanted
Since we're
to get,
talking,
go ahead.
Sorry, since we're talking about the like big governments like the United States and all of those doing amazingly trashy shit. Do you guys know about the highway of death in Kuwait?
Of course, I know about the highway of death.
I don't know.
Ali,
Yeah.
you for sure know
What
this.
is that?
You want to talk about this, Ali?
I'd rather you explain it since you brought it up.
Highway of death.
Let's see your knowledge since you brought it
All
up.
right.
Highway
Yeah,
to
there
hell.
was.
Yeah.
Highway to Hell was
Highway
when
of death.
Highway to Hell, that's a song. So Highway of Death was the time period when Iraqi soldiers and a lot of Egyptian and Palestinian and Jordanian citizens in Kuwait were leaving Kuwait. They were leaving most of them were leaving to Jordan, actually, since let's go back to refugees and all that. But yeah, on that highway, it was like filled with traffic. And I think I'm not exactly sure.
I'll tell you where the highway was. The highway was a highway that moved from like Kuwait. From once you leave you know how Kuwait is like, it has a little bit of a bay. So after the bay, it's Road 80 that leads all the way to the town of Safwan in Iraq. Take it away, Karam.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what plane they used or weapon, but like, if anyone wants to see this, it's extremely desensitizing and like, it's disgusting to look at, but it's history and it's something that needs to be known. If you guys Google this, it's crazy. You can just see cars.
Ali, pull it up right now.
Highway to hell. Okay, let's see it. All right.
Highway of death, Ali.
Highway of Death.
Yeah, it should be more sensitive with that.
So
while the Iraqis were retreating, the American-led coalition basically like came in with their F-16s and started just bombing the shit out of them, and it was known as the Highway of Death.
Yeah.
Or Road 80.
It was later found out that the majority of people that were there were simple civilians trying to leave Kuwait.
Not even no. It was Kuwaitis, I think, that were coming back from.
It was both. There was a lot. There was an amazingly high number of Egyptians. Yeah,
what's going on here?
These are all people.
Yeah.
So these are normal
people. Kuwaitis?
Yeah, normal cars. They're both Kuwaitis and Kuwaiti expats. Yeah.
And they're driving. And
And this was like all bombed.
These are all civilian cars. Yeah. Trying to either leave or enter Kuwait if they were, depending if they're expats, they're leaving. Kuwaitis, they're entering. And this entire highway was bombed and shot through American forces. Later on, like, it's one of the biggest war crimes right now.
And just what's their justification? Yeah, well, why did they do that? Like, why did they? Why would you do something like that?
So they had sources. I'm using these air quotes.
Sources, yes, yeah.
Yeah, they had these sources that there was a lot of Iraqi militias going into Kuwait through here, which was completely false.
Mm-hmm.
Claiming that they used civilian trucks as undercover work, which is
yikes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be wrong here, so don't take my word into this, but I'm about like 80% sure or 70% sure that from all of this, only one person was arrested.
Yeah. Only one person.
So here, I think
isn't that a war crime? So wait, so how does like, who reprimands, like, you know what I mean? Like, if anyone oversteps, The United Nations
United
supposed to do that?
Nations, yeah, the
Yeah,
Security
it's
Council.
it's
Uh-huh.
the IJO, the International Justice.
Oh,
Sorry, ICJ, the
ICJ,
International
yeah.
Court of Justice.
And they haven't done anything about it yet, or is it like
They
now
just
Oh
that
no, no,
arrested one person on acts of war crime, and that was it.
oof,
yeah,
for all this? Yikes! One person
yeah.
did all this. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, this was only one person.
Mhm.
He was controlling multiple planes at the same time. What a guy!
Yikes! Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and this
So yeah,
leads
that's the United States.
and
We
that's the
love the
United
U.S.
States trying to jump everywhere and trying to
No, I don't love them. The past few episodes, I kept taking huge shits on them. So
Well, yeah, now
trust
even
me, I
Americans are
never
taking
liked them.
huge shits on themselves now. Yeah, so it's like there you go.
Completely
Yeah.
justified.
There you
It's
go.
time.
When America,
it's due time.
hmm hmm So yeah,
Yeah.
Karam, continue the
So
story of
do-
the refugees. Sorry. So like, how did
Yeah.
Syria? All right, you had ISIS come in, and then so you had all these people that had to leave because everything was getting bombed.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like,
Where'd they go?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Ali, Haejl,
Yes.
is that how you say your name?
Al Hajj.
Hey, Ali Al-Hajj or Haejl.
Al-Hajj?
Naam.
Tamam. So like, okay, right now you're in Lebanon, right?
I'm in America.
No, he's in LA.
But yeah.
All right. So let's say right now you're in Lebanon, having a wonderful time. Every 2 hours, there's a bomb right next to you.
That is Lebanon.
Not
It
That
changed.
is
It's better now.
Lebanon.
I
mean,
maybe not recently. Maybe recently.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, keep going. Keep.
Keep going. Yes.
Sorry, but yeah.
You're good.
So yeah, let's say there's every couple of hours there's a bomb right next to you, and you don't know if you're safe or if you're not safe.
Mhm.
You're obviously gonna be displaced if there's a bomb that comes directly on your house. Like you're gonna be homeless. You're gonna be displaced. You need somewhere to go.
Mhm.
Obviously, I mean, you're not gonna stay in the middle of a war zone, and that's the fate that people in Syria are having right now. They're getting bombed. They're trying to live peaceful lives. But give me 1 second, guys. Just 1 second.
Take your time. Yeah, so I think I can agree with what he's saying. I can see where he was going with this, but it is a serious thing. Like refugees
I
are.
just don't get. Yeah. Well, Kuwait does Kuwait have any refugees?
No, to be honest.
To be honest.
But yeah, no, we don't. But
yes. You know how many refugees are in Lebanon?
I've lived
a lot. Yeah.
a lot. I
Yes.
know. It's a huge. You can get into Kfar Nahouf later. I think
Back.
that's how you say it.
Kfar Nahum, the movie? You mean about the
Yeah,
refugee kid? Oh, that's great. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are talking about
it
wholesome
is. I watched it.
things.
We were talking. we were talking about we were just talking
We'll get
about how
into it.
Kuwait
We'll
has
get
no
into it.
refugees. Kuwait has 0 refugees.
Zero
Lebanon has
refugees.
like 1 million refugees, and it's like
You guys have 0 refugees.
10% of the.
Yeah. Wait, we don't have
Ali,
refugees.
come
because-
on, man.
Come on, man.
Don't
Come
say
on,
this.
Ali. Allah.
Listen, don't make me say some racist ass shit, okay? Literally, I will stoop to that level, boys. No, but if I'm being honest, I think the main reason Kuwait doesn't have any refugees is because back in 48 and 78, we already took in a lot of Palestinians as refugees. So,
So did Jordan.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
So did Lebanon. And,
I mean, with Jordan, it's understandable
because
because with Jordan's like border to border with them.
That's true.
We were
Even
we were
Lebanon.
called Transjordan.
We're what?
Transjordan.
Yeah, it was Palestine and Jordan.
Oh.
Yeah, there were literally used to be one area, one.
Oh. Okay.
And before that, it was called Bilad al-Sham,
Mm-hmm.
the Levant, which
Yes,
comprised of Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Palestine. So,
Let's bring that back. That's my goal. Oof.
Oof, that'd be cool.
what Bilad al-Sham?
Bilad al-Sham.
Bilad al-Sham. If that comes back,
whoa.
Yes, that'd be.
there's
a good
there's
update.
no way. Like the amount of racism. If you go, if you go to, you're in Erbil.
I'm in Erbil.
Like-
We make fun of Ammanis a lot.
Wait,
We do,
like
like-
in between, but it's not like actual like racism. It's not like if you see an Ammani
Oh no, no.
like fighting.
There's
Yeah.
some serious racism.
there
Like,
are.
Oh,
there
between
are,
like
there are.
Erbil's like. What are they fighting about?
I mean, I really don't know why we're racist to like Syrians and Lebanese and all of that. Like we're
I'll
from
tell
the
you
same
why
country.
What's the
people are
stereotype?
racist.
Yeah, I don't know. Tell me.
I don't
You
know
want to
the
say
stereotype.
Karam?
I mean,
You know it.
You don't
know
wanna-
it very
I don't know.
well.
Yeah, I just don't
I'll
understand.
tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. So Irbid people believe that the kids from Amman are way too soft and way too
Ah, that's all right.
flamboyant, let's say.
Uh-huh. We
Yeah.
have.
Purest example. Do you see this?
I see.
Yeah, this is believed to,
Is that
be
haram?
very
If I go to Irbid
unmanly.
with my ring on, I'm getting stabbed.
Oh, I see. I see.
I'm getting stabbed.
Hmm.
Yep.
But that's not like
Dude,
real racism. That's just kind of like, you know what I mean? It's just like bullying.
No. I meant the
or-
racism. I
Yeah.
meant racism like Jordanians to Lebanese or
To
Jordanians
Lebanese.
to Palestinians or Jordanians to Syrians.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but it
They're
is
just the
what it
same
is.
people, honestly. I don't get that either.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm racist to Jordanians, but I have my reasons. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Just
I'm
kidding.
just
We
kidding.
don't listen. We don't perpetuate
Don't kill
racism.
me. I
Racism
live
is not a
there.
joke, right?
It is
Racism is not a
no,
joke.
no,
A lot
no.
of people
Yes.
spreading prejudice.
Look,
What
the
else?
only reason I like Kuwait, اسمعني هلا علي. The only reason I like Kuwait is
Oh
because of
shit.
Majboos.
Hey,
Because of what?
hey. Listen.
It's because of Majboos.
Majboos
What's
is this
majboos?
rice and chicken dish we have.
That's the best shit ever.
Kuwaitis.
Oh yeah.
Bro, when I come back to Irbid, I will cook it for you. How about that?
يسعد ربك.
Much abusa.
You said that.
Yes.
Much abusak. Ali, don't try. Please don't. You
What do you
offend my friends
mean?
and they'll start talking to me.
What do you mean, dude? Look at this.
No, but
Look at this. Amazing.
yep,
Much
that's
boost.
it. Much
Oof.
boost.
It's
Yeah,
a national
that
dish
is
of
it.
Bahrain. It's not even Kuwaiti. Traditional Bahraini chicken.
It's
Oh.
us. It's not. They took it from us. Yeah, that's what Bahrain
I love when people say that. What do you mean? It's like Bahraini. I don't know. All right.
Listen, and in each area we have like in Arabia, like you have the what's it called? Mensef. I don't know how I
Mensef.
forgot it when we used to eat it every weekend. Mensef in Jordan. Lebanese restaurants in Lebanon. I don't know. You guys have a lot of dishes. I don't know.
That is
which
true.
ones to
So many
choose.
dishes. So many dishes.
Anyway, you have the kebsa in Saudi Arabia, majbous in Kuwait. You have what else do you have? I don't know. I'm not that into food.
Shawarma. Who
That's
created
it.
the
That's it.
shawarma?
That's all the food.
Do we
Yeah,
do we
it's-
know who created the shawarma?
Suriya. Suriya
that
عملوا best shawarma.
Yeah. Yeah, shawarma is a dish in the Middle East. Originally made in Canada.
All right, buddy.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Wikipedia.
I'm about to be racist.
Yeah. So can I?
Jamie, cut that out of the video, Jamie. Cut that out of the
Jamie.
Cut that out.
Cut it
Cut
out.
that out. Mm-hmm.
Cut that out, Jamie. You don't know who
I have
Jamie
a-
is,
I
right,
have a
Karam?
career in politics. Please cut that out.
That's Tiago now. Tiago, cut that out. Tiago, cut it out.
Oh yeah, we fired Jamie.
We fired Jamie.
Tiago, cut
Fired Jamie?
that out.
Yes.
Do you want to know who Tiago is? Yeah,
Yeah, who's
because
the
Jamie
other?
was an asshole. Tiago's my
fuck
Portuguese
Jamie, I
friend.
never
He
liked
edits.
him.
True.
He
That's
edits the show.
attitude.
Mhm.
He edits the show. He's a good friend of mine. We
He's a
used to
good-
play Rainbow Six Siege. Shout out Rainbow Six Siege and not Tiago. No,
Shout
I'm just
out to
kidding.
Diego.
Tiago.
Tiago.
Diago.
Shout out Tiago.
Shout out Diago.
Tiago.
Tiago.
Tia. Okay.
Amazing.
Shout out to that person.
How about
He's gonna get
since
so
we're-
annoyed that he's
since
gonna
we're
be like,
planning things out? Have you guys seen the new PS5? I don't know if you.
oh my god, it looks like ass.
What do you mean?
I like
It looks like
It
the
looks
router.
nice.
What do you mean? It looks so cool. It's like so
It looks
futuristic.
like a white folder.
White folder.
White
Have you seen the
folder.
memes? The PS5. Look at that. Amazing.
Have you seen the Xbox? It looks like a literal trash can.
Whoa. You tell
Thank
me this
God I'm a
isn't cool?
PC gamer.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Look at that.
PC's
Let's
right
go
here.
indeed. Yeah. Versus Xbox. Amazing. Yeah, it looks like a trash can. It's just a box. It really is not creative at all.
It's just the box.
You mean like you
I
look
mean,
at this and you're like,
Hence the
this is
name
cool.
Xbox.
Yeah, but look how cool this looks. I mean, it's really so cool. Like, you know what I mean? I know. Oh well.
Yeah, but you're gonna put that in the middle of a fucking shitty ass house. It's too futuristic.
It's too futuristic. Everything else needs to catch up.
Karam, I would understand because I live there. I don't think Ali would understand.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Jordanians are the West architect, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Thank you.
What do you mean? Wait, I don't understand. What is that?
Just
Just
gonna
leave it at
leave
that.
it at that.
Or just that?
Yeah,
I-
we're just gonna drop that and we're gonna move past. Moving
All
on.
right.
Moving on. Moving on.
Okay. What else are refugees
Moving
doing
on. So
nowadays?
let's we
Yes. Yeah. So they
What's up?
displaced,
Sorry.
right? So how do they go back to their countries?
Sorry, you were lagging. Can you repeat that?
Sorry. So the refugees displaced, right? They're in all
Mhm.
f- how do they get back into their countries? I don't know. You know what I mean? Is like, are they just staying in like
Yeah.
like
No, I get it.
Jordan or
So
Lebanon forever? Or you know what I
right.
mean?
So no. What happens usually? Okay. So when they get displaced, they usually go to a neighboring country. A lot of them do go to Europe for better lives.
Hmm.
It is an opportunity, and
but
it's
it's
one thing that
very
I
risky,
genuinely
isn't it?
appreciate. What's up?
Isn't it very risky though? There are a lot of refugees that died via drowning and whatnot.
It's true.
Ali, your mic's lagging.
We've all seen that baby that died on the beach, that was found on the beach.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it was
Yeah,
a Syrian. It
so
was a
it is
Syrian
risky.
baby. It's insanely
Anyways,
risky. But like people have to go. Like the fact that people actually have to go through that many risks
Hmm.
for a better life, like they actually think crossing an entire ocean is safer on a lifeboat, on a literal raft,
Whoa.
an inflatable raft,
Hmm.
is safer than staying in their
Than
own
staying
country.
home.
Like that's crazy. Like
That is.
if
Mhm.
if there's any viewers from the US or UK, put yourself in those shoes.
Yeah.
and
It's
Poland and
crazy.
Portugal.
Yeah, and no, I mean, really, like any like first world country that can really, I mean, it's so hard to relate to something like that.
Exactly. And
I mean, like,
and
how
one,
bad
one
is it?
yeah, and one thing that's really like crazy to me, 84% of refugees are in developing countries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's where
Like
they'll accept them. Maybe they don't have like stronger borders, or right? Is that like why did they end up not
people
in the
don't want, like to keep it blunt, people don't want refugees. People don't want extra people that aren't paying taxes. Like it's an extra cost.
Mm.
Oops,
Yeah,
my
it's
computer
an
turned
extra
off.
cost.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hmm.
So it's an extra cost. I mean, like economically speaking, I get their viewpoint because it's not beneficial to them.
Hmm.
Like there's nothing coming from refugees.
Isn't that like the UN's job to like distribute it, or
That's the thing. The UN is not really effective.
why is it not effective? Wait, is it because like countries are more powerful than it, or
Right. So okay, let's take a quick lesson in history. Um, do you guys know about the League of Nations?
Yes.
post World War One, right?
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Post World War One, the League of Nations was created by Woodrow Wilson. It was actually his idea to make it, the United States idea, and the United States never joined it. So they made the League of Nations to help countries to prevent wars.
Hmm.
And
Didn't
it
work out
was
too well.
called,
Mhm.
yeah, it never went too well because it was literally called a toothless tiger. It was all just roaring. It was telling people, don't do this, don't do that. But the moment that they did this and that, they didn't really do shit. Right now with the United Nations, that the only difference is it has its own, you know, army. Let's say army.
Mm.
The blue helmets. You can see them. It says the United Nations right on the top of the helmet. Those people, it's like a private military. Let's say that's put there. They're called peacekeepers, and it's from their name. They keep the peace, or at least that's what they try to do. But it doesn't really go that well because they don't really have any power. They can't really shoot because the moment that they shoot, it's a massive, massive thing, and there's so much shit that they're gonna go through. It's just not. They would never do it unless it's a life or death scenario. But I'd like to, as a disclaimer, I fully support every worker in the peacekeeper community, and completely love it. Even though it's not working, I just I'd always support it because they're putting their lives
You
on risk.
appreciate the idea.
Yeah, and it's a purely volunteering job. Like I can currently go on the United Nations website and volunteer as a peacekeeper. But let's go back to refugees. I went on a tangent.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah. So when they get displaced, they go to their neighboring countries. And when they go to their neighboring countries, I'm talking about the Ali Hajj's question. When they go to those neighboring countries, they have to stay there until their home country is in a better position. And once it's in a better position, they can eventually, go back to it.
Receive them back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right now, I mean, Syria is improving. Like, there's a lot of monetary support going to Syria. And in fact, like, a lot of Jordanians are, investing in Syria. It's actually a gold mine right now because, ISIS is gone right now. Let's go. All right.
Uh-huh.
And it's a pure gold mine to invest in Syria right now.
Yeah.
So if anyone is looking for an investment, invest in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
Which episode did we talk about stocks and investment?
With your cousin, bro. Yes, no, but it's
With my cousin.
So wait, so ISIS is gone now from Syria?
So
What's going on in Syria right now? Yeah, what's the update? I don't know.
So I haven't really checked. It's been a while, but like the last I heard was, so Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the previous leader of ISIS, was actually assassinated through a bombing.
Oh,
by the
so the leader of ISIS gone. Okay, all right.
But obviously, there was
people with
contingency planning. Even terrorists have contingency planning.
Next in line.
And maybe, I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna put a claim that he's still alive. But no, the other leader took place, and ever since he took place, ISIS was really gone off the news. But recently, like I think about a month or maybe 2 months ago, there was another article. A couple of articles has also been killed. But ISIS is still in Syria. I'm not saying that ISIS is completely gone. They're still there in Syria, in the further provinces in Syria. But it's a safer place. The capital, Damascus, is slowly getting better. Alhamdulillah. I mean, slowly but surely, things will go back to normal. Al-Assad is still the ruler. A lot of people still don't like it. A lot of people do like it. That's a topic for another day. But yeah, I mean, like, when a country does get better, the home citizens of that country will eventually go to it. So the jobs of countries such as Jordan, Lebanon, and to a point even Palestine, their job is to harbor those refugees for as long as they can, make sure that they have the bare minimum, which is a shelter, food and water, and an education. As long as they have that, they're deemed that's it. They can live. But that's not a way to live.
It's so strange to me how, like, I feel like how many refugees came out of Syria? I don't know if you know the, like.
I can't.
I'm sure
let me
millions.
find it. Syrian in Jordan 2020. Let's go.
Well, yeah.
So it looks like
2 million, a million.
No, relax. So I think, well, it's about 400,000.
All right, 400,000, right?
So almost half a million.
Yeah, almost.
It's actually 532,000. That's the latest one.
All right, you have 196 countries, right? How does can the United Nations like split it, right? So like each country takes like 100 people, 1,000 people, right? I feel like 1,000 people in the United States or in UK or whatever, based on size. I feel like is there not someone who's pulling?
I mean, if we were living in a perfect society, people would volunteer. Let's go. You guys can come. You guys can come here. Sweden did try to do that. They had like complete open borders to refugees. France tried that for a bit, then they closed it off.
That's true. Isn't that also part of why UK left the EU?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So what happened? What happened there? They just didn't want like refugees. Was that part of the reason?
that's the thing. I mean, like, yeah, they, like I was saying, everything is to do with economics and politics. Refugees are a cost, and they are nothing but a cost to any country. That's why
Like
Jordan's
taxpayer
economy.
dollars.
That's why Jordan's economy is in the shits. We have way more refugees that we can handle. But I'm really glad that Jordan does do what it does. Even though we don't have a lot of support from the outside, I'm still very proud of my country for doing that. But the reason that the UK left is because, I mean, the EU has the same currency, all right? The UK never took that currency. However, they had to follow the same policies that the EU had, which was open borders. And they obviously didn't want open borders because the more refugees that enter the United Kingdom, the more costs that are going to be there. And the UK does not want to have any more costs, especially the Tory party. So it's all a series of, you know, I'm just putting the phone on charge right now. Don't worry about it.
That's cool. Anyways,
Amazing.
It's not just that. I think it's also to do with some countries are just they just don't want to spend, you know, enough, like a lot of money on harboring foreign citizens, you know, or some countries
because like refugees don't pay taxes.
You think, but it's not just economics. Probably, I'm sure it's like racism or socialism or.
That's another thing.
Like,
that's another thing. Yeah. Some countries are scared that their citizens will be way too racist and they'll make their lives even worse than what it was.
Definitely. You know? I mean, I think we've all heard about, you know, the rapes in Sweden.
What? Yeah. Explain.
No,
I don't know.
I never heard of this.
So there was a lot of, you know, there was an influx of Syrian refugees in Sweden because they have complete open borders to refugees. And due to that, I mean, it's obviously a culture shock for Syrian refugees to go into a country such as Sweden. I mean, you know, I don't want to get into religion too much, but in Islam, a woman is meant to cover herself up, you know.
Especially in like Kuwait or Jordan, right? You're not used to having women that are wearing like shorts, you know what I mean, or like, you know, like a tank or whatever.
Exactly, and like you have to remember, like the people that are displaced are the people from they're not from the capital city. I mean, there's obviously the people from the capital city, but there's a lot of the majority of them
from like the villages
from outside of the capital. Exactly,
right?
The villages.
Like even more like cultural and traditional. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I don't want to sound too rude, but like they're not that liberal, let's say. So
that's
when they go to a
that's
country such as
perfectly
Sweden,
normal.
No, it's accurate.
Yeah. So when they go to a country such as Sweden and they see like women being free, it's a culture shock. And I mean, I will never ever blame the victim.
Yeah, we're not condoning it's not the victim's fault, right? You know, definitely not right.
Yeah.
We're just trying to like break it down a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. In their point of view, it's like, oh, she's dressed like this, therefore she's giving me the okay.
She must be that way.
Exactly. She must be a slut. And I'm sorry for using that word. So she must be a slut. Cool. And it's a stupid ideology, and it provokes a lot of bad reputation for Arabs and Muslims. And I mean, it is what it is. We can't really do much.
That's the end of At the end,
that is
all this happens, and like we can't really do much. You can like donate maybe a little bit, volunteer a little bit.
So I think if
I think you can do more, right? We're seeing here in the United States, like with the whole police reform thing, is that people like gathered, right, and they were like, united, we stand against like police brutality, right? And they were able and now they're talking about police reform, defunding the police, right? So I'm sure, like globally, if everyone came together, it was like, hey, how about we help out these Palestinians or the Syrians, or you know what I mean? I know we're all like, yeah, but if someone started a social media campaign, whatever, it's possible. It's not impossible, is what I'm trying to say.
It's a possibility, but it's very far-fetched.
Here's what I'll say as a closing remark. As the great Tommy Wiseau once said in his movie The Room, if we all just learn to love each other a little bit, the world will be a happier place. And yes, that is very true.
Very true.
It's important for everyone to play their parts in be donating, not money. It doesn't have to be money. It can be something as simple as a toy that you used to have,
Mhm.
and make that refugee kid happier. Anything you can donate, please click in the links below. Donate anything you can, even as small as Karam said, $1
Mhm.
is more than enough. If
Even
that's
just
what you can spare, like spare, just spare it.
even like
And if
reading or
and
educating yourself.
even if you can't spare some cash, you can always spread the word.
Exactly.
That's true.
Awareness
It's
and education.
because silence is the voice of the oppressor. Thank you, Karam, for coming
Thank you guys
on
for
the
hosting me.
show.
Karam,
You are more
is there
than
anything you want to say
welcome.
before we wrap up?
I
Anything you
want
want
to
to shout
say
out?
thank you both for hosting me, and
You're more than welcome.
hopefully in the next couple of years we'll be living in a wonderful, happy, futuristic,
Hopefully.
utopian world
Oh,
where
yes,
everything is
that's the big hope, and I look forward to
that's what
meeting
they
you
got.
sometime, Karam. Also,
For
yes,
sure,
True.
for sure,
for sure,
whenever
man.
we can.
Anyways, I don't know if you watched any episodes, but this is how we sign out. It's a salute to cover the camera. Yes, show us that beautiful forehead. In 3, 2, 1, and peace.